Hello, world. Welcome back to the JKWD podcast, where we've been coming at you every Monday for over 4 years now. Sounds like a long time.
Sacrilege.
Our podcast is almost ready for kindergarten.
I hadn't thought about that. We're raising a child. Are we talking kindergarten listeners or no? Never mind.
No, probably not.
No, maybe not that. Yeah, but it'd be an upgrade. No. Good morning, Mr. Shear. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm having a good week. Although, I want to talk about I always talk about the weather. You ever notice that? But I think it's
I do.
When you up.
Yeah, you all are in the middle of a heat wave right now.
Yeah, man, it's been 90 plus all week. Monday it was 94, and it hasn't been below 90 all week as far as high temperatures go. So,
wow.
However, my house is such that I haven't had to turn on the air conditioner yet. And if I really want to stay comfortable, I go in the basement because it's still chilly down there. Something about that underground sun's not getting through long enough thing. Because if we play this right, by the time winter comes around, I'll be able to go down in the basement and stay warm when there's snow on the ground, because it takes a while for the heat to dissipate, But all in all, life is good. And hey, I'm doing all right.
How about you? We're doing all right here. Still running. Running. That's and we've been trying to get a little goofy with it. We got some tie-dyed sneakers and
yes, you did.
Shout out on Instagram.
I saw those. And what was it you said? The other ones didn't owe you nothing, but
I had them for a year and a half. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're so worn down.
Yeah. Those are really cute. I thought those were nice. Yeah. Traffic will see you coming from several planets away. Pretty sure the satellites are tracking those colors. Yeah, you're safe.
I'm excited for the months to get a little longer because they just put in over the last few months, they put in a new multi-use trail, running, biking, walking trail.
Oh, really?
Running, not entirely alongside the freeway, but they got about 3.25 miles of it done, and that links up with another section that runs into another park. So,
oh, cool.
So right now, 2 of the parks are connected, and they're gonna work its way out. They got the bike path set up out to Tybee, out for the beach. So there's still a few miles to connect those 2 paths. They got to build a path to connect those 2 paths, and then they're going to build it out headed south toward another park.
Oh, cool.
So it's a multi-phase project, but there's a part about 2 miles from my house that, like I said, is 3.25 miles long.
Right.
So when I get up near 10 miles, I can just leave the house, go from here, run up to the end of that trail, and come back.
Bless you, my son.
Yeah.
I think you're nuts.
Hopefully by the time I get up near 10 miles, it'll be a little cooler out because hot.
I'm rooting in your favor. How's that?
I don't know if you can see it on the video here, but the top of my head got a little sunburnt yesterday. It was, a lot of times when I run, I wear a hat, but it was too hot yesterday to wear a hat, so I wore a sweatband. So I got a nice little line right about the top of my brow, like right where your hairline is.
Got it.
And somebody was with my right. You wouldn't have to worry about this. But, I wear with my beard instead of a conventional mask that kind of gets jumbled up in the beard. I wear like a gaiter, like a neck gaiter. So it covers like my whole face. It doesn't just hang off my ears. It goes all the way around my head.
Right.
So somebody was joking, hey, do you wear that thing all the way up to your forehead? Is that why it's sunburn up there? It's like, then I hadn't thought of that. It's a good idea. I could just wear it like that, and I couldn't do anything on my wife's honey-do list. I can't see anything.
I don't think
I got my mask pulled up too high.
I'm thinking that honeydew priority would get bigger. Yeah. Sounds like
you don't
fun.
Think that'd fly? Anyway, we're brought to you today by Vitamin K Daily. Philosophical supplements for your attitude, health. I couldn't say that last week.
I'm proud of you. You're getting better.
Maybe I've had one less cup of coffee or something. I was able to just relax into it. Get your daily dose of positive from the Prince of Positive himself, Mr. Kelvin Ringgold, the other.
That is I.
Half of this podcast. That's you. And wake up in the morning, Monday through Friday, or sometimes before you go to bed, if your baby wakes up at 2:45 and wants to hang out for an hour. That happened once this week. Every time I get a vitamin K before I go to bed, I know it's time to go to bed.
Really. Luckily for you, I'm on time because there have been days.
Right. Yeah. There have also been days when I've been up before the vitamin K shows up. If you're a little late and I'm a little early. It's happened. But normally about 3:30 in the morning Eastern time it lands. A little bit of, hey, have a great day for you every day. 4 weeks free at vitaminkdaily.com. No spaces. You can leave off the no spaces. Just don't put any spaces in that web address. 4 weeks free, and just $24.95 a year, and you can cancel anytime. That's 9.5 cents a day.
That's right.
vitaminkdaily.com. Get your 4 weeks free, and let's play the music before we babble too much longer.
Podcast, where we talk about better humanhood and teach you how to dominate your world. You ready? Here we go.
Babbling has its virtues. Especially these days, because there is so much stuff going on. Sometimes a little cheerful babble is preferred.
Yeah, well, it definitely beats some of the babble that's out on the internet.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh. I got myself into a hole this week. Way down into that Twitter rabbit hole.
Did you?
Yeah, there was the Linguistics Society letter, and there was the Harper's letter, and I don't even want to talk about them too much. I'll just mention them. And people who know, they'll know. And people who want to find out, you can go
to Twitter.
Yeah. But man, I could not avoid the noise. With apologies to Domino's.
Well, there you go.
All right.
It's okay though.
Yeah. I feel like I don't come out if I get into those rabbit holes. I don't come out until Friday morning when I talk to you.
Oh.
When I have to, I get deeper and deeper and deeper, and I'm like, I'm in a rabbit hole. Help me to get out. And then I just go deeper and deeper, like, oh, great, I'm almost told that I can. Kevin will pull me out of this thing. He'll smack me around.
Yeah. I think I ended up in one last week too, and I pride myself on not being movable on a lot of this stuff, but I don't know. I had a couple of days last week that I was off my game, and I'm like, we got to cut this out. So we don't want to make that a habit ever. because it's just weird stuff going on out there. But
so how do you recognize when you're in that hole and that you're like, wait a second, no, this matters. I should be doing the work, or I should be. Well, maybe I'll just call that guy and have a drink.
I have a chair downstairs that I use for meditation. And strangely enough, I've been waking up early. Maybe it's because I have the windows open in my bedroom, but I wake up at like half the time. I wake up at like 6 o'clock, and then I have to go back to sleep, and then I wake up at like 7. But anyway, I'll get up and I'll go downstairs, and I have a chair that I sit to meditate. I'll make my coffee, and if I sit down in that chair at 8:30. And if I'm still in that chair at 2:30, I know I got a problem. I just didn't go anywhere and didn't do anything. And I had
wait a second, time out.
Like that. Uh-huh.
If you sit in that chair at 8:30 and you're still in that chair at 2:30, is your problem not like wet pants?
Nope. No, not unless I drink 3 of those big old things of coffee. I will admit that if that comes up, I do move from the chair to the closest available relief station. But if I come back and get in that chair and sit there and wonder what I'm going to do the rest of my day, or what I'm going to read, or what I'm thinking about, or then I know I'm not in a good mood. So, and a couple of things, just it got to me last week, just because there's so much, I avoid the news and such. I don't check any of that stuff. So if it gets to me, it's just there. I think I might have actually spent too much time in the house. I didn't get enough sunshine, and that could have been it. So I did get outside the house a little bit. Went out and bought a sandwich or something. Ate a spoonful of crunchy peanut butter. That always helps. Oh, I know what got me out last week. My Chinese restaurant that I thought closed didn't. They just remodeled. So I went back to my Chinese restaurant, got some Chinese takeout, and me and General So had a good old time. Although I do have to reheat the hot and sour soup.
Otherwise, it would be cold and sour soup?
It would be cold and sour soup, and that's not nearly as good. So, but yeah. So, but other than that, then I got back to, reading some stuff and reading some of the old comments I get back from people. And that's kind of what I do every once in a while. And I don't know. I pride myself in being able to help people get out of their rabbit holes. And every once in a while, I have to go back through my notes and start reading some appreciation from people that I've helped, clear their heads. And then I go, well, I know how to do that. Why don't I call me and get me out of that? So, I eventually got out of it, and then I'm good. I'm talking to people, and if I find that I'm actually not connecting with people, then I know something's wrong, because I am absolutely a people person, and I've got people calling me all the time. So if I'm not talking to anybody, it means that I'm probably in a mood. I don't want to afflict anybody. So I have to get out of that, because. So last week I read a little bit, and then I have a wonderful fallback. I listen to smooth jazz, and if I can listen to some good music for a couple hours and don't get out of a funk, I'm probably going to call you. Probably going to call you, but that normally does it for me. So I did that, did some more writing, called some folks, make sure they were okay, and I was better. And when I sit down to write vitamin K, I get some spontaneous stuff coming up, and I can smile and pass on some smiles. I know I'm back in the cut.
Good. Because I read something this week. I forgot how much I like long form reporting. And when I read long form reporting, I like it to be in print. So I got a subscription to Esquire magazine, and I got it cheap. It was one of those like, hey, have a $5 offer. and we won't keep your credit card on file. Like, okay, I'll give you a shot for a year.
Yeah.
And there was a long piece on the song "We Are the World" because this happened 35 years ago.
I remember that.
Yeah, and so it was just nice, about 6-page print spread about that. And if people aren't familiar with "We Are the World" or they don't remember it,
yeah, we need to bring that back.
This was this was like the second. It was like the second like celebrities do a thing, right? Like it happens every time now. Like every time there's a big global crisis, there's a big concert, and
right.
If everybody can get into one place, they do, but otherwise, you'll have somebody do a song, in New York, and somebody do a song in LA, and some do a song from Torrance, Oklahoma City, and
right.
They'll have like these one world shows or whatever. But this was to raise money for famine relief in Ethiopia, and the song was written by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie, and they got Diana Ross and Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles and Steve Perry and Billy Joel and Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan and Paul Simon and Hall & Oates and Dionne Warwick, and they had 60 superstars in the same room, in the same studio, all being conducted by Quincy Jones. And this had Bob Geldof had put together Do They Know It's Christmas a couple of months before that. But this is the only, I don't, we'll have to go back and link to that because I don't have the knowledge off the top of my head who was involved with that.
You did pretty good for a guy who was just like off the top of your head, though. I mean, you had some.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
But yeah, I mean, they got everybody together. It was like the second time that they'd done this. Like I said, now it's a common thing.
Right.
But there's no internet. They thought Prince was going to show up. They invited him that night and wound up giving his line. He was going to have a solo. They wound up giving that solo to Huey Lewis when Prince didn't show. Bruce Springsteen decided at the last minute. He had just played the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, and decided to get on a plane early in the morning and fly out. And they did an all-night session.
Wow.
Lionel Richie, who co-wrote the song, and he was one of the organizers. He was the biggest star in the middle of the '80s there, and he was hosting the American Music Awards. So they did the American Music Awards, and then he went over to the studio, and they started at like 10 p.m. And they finished at like 8:30 in the morning.
Oh wow!
And they didn't. They had a couple of photographers in the room, and really nobody else. You couldn't fit that many people. So if people came with their families or their managers or whatever, the families and the managers had to go into the other building. But anyway, this isn't an episode about We Are the World. It just happens that that's what I read, and it was a good reminder that I enjoy the long form story, and also that thing existed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good time. It's a good time to bring it back because we could use some of that "We Are the World" energy. And I mean, I know that was back then about USA for Africa, but it's a universal. I mean, it's a universal theme these days, and I think the world's a little bigger now than it used to be back then. In application, maybe not in actual girth, but in application and number of people that we're connecting and to bring us into realization that we really are the same people on the same planet doing the same stuff, and get rid of some of that other stuff. We need that energy again.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to say today, but I really mean a couple of weeks ago when we recorded this podcast.
Right.
But this morning, I get an email every day from Seth Godin's blog, and today he was writing about it being his 60th birthday, and he says it's actually not my birthday anymore. I gave it away. He is one of the 20,000 people who gives his birthday every year to charity water, and I don't know who came up with this idea, but Charity Water is one of these organizations that brings clean water to parts of the world that don't have it. They build wells, and we've talked about that before. You bring clean water into a community, and all of a sudden, a lot of their problems go away, and they can start They can help solve real problems and help lift themselves out of poverty because they're not spending all their time trying to get clean water. But the organization was started by the guy. He had been one of those. This is before there were such things as influencers on Instagram and that kind of thing. But he basically did that for a booze brand. So they would fly him around the country, and then have him just go to expensive bars and be seen ordering that particular brand of alcohol. It's an ambassador job, right? Like it's a brand ambassador job.
Right.
And he was like, so he's like a good looking guy. People want to be like him. Oh, what's that cool guy drinking? And maybe he gives away some freebies while he's at it. But basically, he was getting seen drinking. He's like, well, I can only do this for so long. This isn't particularly fulfilling. It definitely pays well and is fun. And so he started this organization called Charity Water. And now people say, hey, I'm turning 60 this year. Will you donate $60 to Charity Water? Or, if you can't give 60, give what you can.
Right.
But it's so there's some of that stuff going on. It just happened that hit my inbox today. So a lot of the stuff is going on. It's just a matter of trying to find it again through all the noise.
And there's a lot of noise.
There's a lot of noise.
We tried a couple of times to do a positive newscast.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that? And I couldn't get anybody to send me a positive story. Like, where's the positive stories? Nothing. Oh, really? So I may have to. Maybe a good time to start that again, because we certainly need positive. And there's a lot of people, just because the stuff's going on, who kind of resist a positive story. I don't know. It's like, there's more stuff going on in the world than that, and blah 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 blah. But what they don't realize is that the stuff that's happening that's not good. If that's all you focus on, that's all there's ever going to be. You're going to have to positive. You're going to have to focus on something else, or you're just going to stay dug in to that hole. You got to have someplace positive to go in your head before you can get out.
Yeah, and even if you, if you're looking at the negative stuff all the time, if you walk out your door and talk to your next door neighbor, or talk to the people across the street, even if they're consuming the same negative stuff, if you just talk about your lives together, you're gonna find that it's not really all that bad. That all the negative stuff it's just an aggregation of negative stuff. It's not everyday life. It's not every moment in life. And yes, There's always somebody dying. Yes, there's always something bad happening somewhere. But there are almost 8 billion people on this planet. There's a lot of good happening too. And sometimes, because our brains are attuned to the tiger in the bush, we don't want to pay attention to the positive stuff because the negative stuff feels so much more important. But how many of us are actually going to be affected by the negative stuff? Not many of us, really.
Not comparatively speaking, no. Not in this country. There's other countries where there's more. It's more
even elsewhere where problems are tenfold over our country. For most people, the news story of their life is Kelvin woke up today, made himself some coffee, drank a glass of water, had a green smoothie, sat down to work.
You got my routine down pretty good.
Called a friend,
yep.
Wrote a newsletter, went to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's Josh woke up this morning, had some coffee, walked the dog, changed the baby's diaper, took a nap, woke up, had another cup of coffee, went to work, finished work, went to bed. That's the news story of most people's days. And it's not the pound that we seem to be hit with.
Advertise, yeah.
Yeah, just look up and look around you and take note of. It doesn't even have to be what's good, but what's not bad. Just what's kind of neutral and hey, these walls are still standing, so something fine must be happening, or something bad must not be happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're just standing.
No
here
nuclear
being
flash just recently. No.
Yeah. Well, these walls are just standing here being walls.
Yep. I guess that would come under appreciate the little things. Of course, that's not a little thing. Having standing walls on your house, that's good.
It's a good thing.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
just a little reminder to avoid the noise and just get back to being humans when you can, right?
Relaxing, yeah. Yeah. Just remember. It's good stuff. It's always something good. You can find it if you want to look for it.
Yeah. So, hey, if you like what we do, make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you listen, as that'll tell the algorithm that more people are subscribing. Don't just listen to one episode at a time, although we do appreciate you if you do. Also, rate, review, tell your friends about us, share. That helps us. That helps more people find the podcast. If you tell one person and you do it from the podcast app, you hit that little share button, then the algorithm amplifies it as well. So your one share helps us fivefold anyway. So we appreciate that. We do jkwdpodcast.com for show notes for this and all the other episodes, including whatever we can find, videos from Avoid the Noid and We Are the World, and vitaminkdaily.com for your 4 weeks free, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. Show notes and more at jkwdpodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends, and we will see you next week. Bye!
A Better Humanhood production.